primary ignition.
This is Star Wars.
Look out!
Core World News.
You may fire when ready.
From the bright center of the galaxy, I'm Greg Skonda, and you're listening to Core World News, your online news service providing in-depth coverage of all the latest stories from every sector of the galaxy. Now, a news segment rundown for October 13th, 2022. Andor canon. Kyber Crystal Comics Corner. We now go live to the CWA newsroom to join the host, Ben Granadam, with a review of episode 6 of Andor, The Eye.
All right, thank you very much, Grex. Welcome, everyone, to another exciting week of Core World News. What an exciting episode of Andor we just had. It's amazing, and it's so great. Before we get into it, sorry, I'm going to do this. Please review and like our podcast. We'd like that very much. It makes us happy.
Check it out. We do this for fun, and then you can also like it.
But it helps and it makes us feel good.
Yeah, the more you do that, the more people can like and have fun with us.
Yeah, and we want to get a bunch of people more in our Discord server. Not that Jason
dial in the field com.
Yeah,
lock it in.
Our Discord service is a gem on the internet. That is
it's beautifully crafted. It's waiting for you. I'm going to send out a
criminally underused.
Boosted.
It's true.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's that. Andor, episode 6, The Eye. Yep. I think we knew what was coming on this one,
guys.
Like, okay.
Turns out, Skeen was scheming, and I knew it from the beginning. I called it immediately. Let's go back. Rewind.
You did, yeah. You absolutely did.
The I think we all were like, yeah, there's something up with Skeevy Skeen. And then, I think we all kind of came around the other way. There's probably tape of us being like, that Skeen, he's a pretty solid guy last week.
I bought into him completely because I thought he was going to die being like too much like, I want to kill all Imperials and just like blowing the cover.
Yeah.
And no, he's just in it for himself. Right.
So we get the whole siege here. I mean, I just felt like style wise, it still has the great, overall production style that we've been used to, but like, instead of having these like really thoughtful, long conversation scenes from episode 5, which I enjoyed so much, this is a Star Wars action film. It had I got Ocean's 11 vibes off of that. What do you think of an action-packed episode?
Yeah. As promised, every third episode we get some action, right?
Yeah.
But again, this just goes to solidify these aren't episodes, these are acts. And this is the third act of the second series, right? And that's what you get in your third act, especially in an adventure Star Wars movie. It's mostly all action, right? And so that's all we got, which was not all we got, but that's what we got.
Yeah. Sweeping sets, sweeping spatial vistas. There's a lot of spatial integrity in the show where you just feel the valley, like they're trekking across this valley, and you just feel it in the photography.
You know where they are. You understand it.
In other shows, you kind of feel it's more. It feels a little bit more isolated and scaled down. I feel like this show is it's gorgeous. I get lost in it. I love the action. I thought it was super well directed, and I don't know. I thought this was one of the best sort of space heists I've ever seen, honestly.
Yeah. I can't think of its equal. I mean, there was just so much tension there. We all knew something was going to go down, and then just like the overall beauty was breathtaking.
Yeah, breathtaking. Honestly, from scene 1, breathtaking.
Yeah, and I just want to compare it to The Mandalorian, and not in terms of like who did it better, but like. We got like the heist episode in season 1, right, where they're breaking out the prisoner. I can't remember the name of the episode, and that to me felt like very Star Wars heist in terms of there's fun. There's fun in that heist.
Yeah,
there was no fun in this heist, right? Like, which is good. It sounds like that's a critique, but like
after this heist,
it was
melted
real
by the sheer cool and like simplicity, but also the sort of like. The tension and how
tension, so much tension. Yeah,
so much tension. It was like, and I mean, they were pretty successful the whole way through. But it was like each win felt like a loss. It was like like
the stakes, there were stakes. I felt in this.
Yeah,
so you really felt like it weighed heavy on the characters. I
I love that.
Because it was such a convoluted plan. There were so many moving parts to this plan that you really felt like, okay, this took 3 years to plan.
I was confused about the soldiers running back across the bridge, like they were waiting. Did Gorn set up something where they were waiting on the ridge up there and were not going to return their post or something? Did you catch that bit?
Like, why were they running back?
Yeah. Why were they running? I didn't catch. Do you guys know that? I just that's my only question.
You know what? I missed it too. I was under the impression they were like trying to get back to watch the show, and we're like, okay, they were recalled, so they were hauling butt to come back.
Yeah, that's what I assumed too, because I thought at the communications tower when they accidentally picked up the signal that they knew something was up, and that person called back some of the people, and that's what we.
I thought it was a perfect plan, though. I love that they just kind of with these soldiers.
Like, all out running for some reason that just like hit me like really, like the scene where Val plants the scrambler and then just sprints like off in the distance, like in a wide shot. It's like behind him, and she's just like I don't know why that shot was so cool.
Yeah, it was a really cool shot. I was also like, if that guy looks to his left, this plan's over.
Yeah,
right. Here's another thing. I think this is going to be, you can tag it on your Andor Corwell News bingo. That's part of the thing about shooting on real sets, because if you think about shooting in the in the volume, it's big, but it's not that big, so it's hard to get an all-out run going in those sets, right? Because by the time you get a good run going, you're probably pretty close to the other wall.
Repels down a dam.
Like James Bond.
I'm a fan. Yeah. I'm there for that. Anytime someone wants to do that, that's okay with me.
Yeah,
that was great. I loved that they, I had a stupid idea about what the two girls were going to do, but like the fact that I love that they submarined in from the back of the dam, and it was just so like you don't see that very often, and we've never seen underwater in live action before.
Episode 1 when they're going to Gungan
but
Village. But not like, but that's also not.
Well, that shot was just gorgeous. I think that was the best. That was one of the most beautiful shots of the episode, I feel.
Shooting up from the depths. And then even when they panned down and you saw these two submerged towers underneath, it was, they didn't need to do that level of production value, and they just did it. And it was like gorgeous, and it added so much, like, you feel the lake, you feel the sky, you feel the plains, like you guys were saying.
Yeah, I think it's great where you think about this, like the men, because at this point it seems like there are no female officers. That seemed to be why they had to kind of split up that way. We're not really seeing many female officers, and so the men, basically, when you think about it, like their job seemed tense. We saw them planning it the last episode, but really all they had to do was march. Like that was their only skill set, was to look like an Imperial and march until they got into a certain room, right? That's it. Yeah. Gorn was leading them. And then you cut to the women, and they're like hiding from being seen, scuba diving, rappelling. Like I just love that you cut to this other part that we didn't see any of the preparation, and they were the ones who had to probably do the most training. It wasn't like a weekend.
Dive suits, Star Wars dive suits. I was loving that bit. Yeah. And they keep pulling out the Bolex, like monoculars or binocs. It's just a Bolex camera, no big deal.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, and Nemec, that's like a sextant. That's like a space sextant.
All right.
Yeah.
So you named Nemec. Can we talk about Nemec?
Okay.
I mean, you started the episode. This episode was just dark and almost like darkly poetic, and it's all around Nemec and sort of Cassian's interaction, and Cassian just initially is saying, Nemec's tired, and he's like, "You'll sleep when this is over," and it's like,
he sure will,
and he did. Some class act foreshadowing there. But I feel like it's one of those things that we all knew he was doomed. We talked about it. My wife knew it, even though she didn't want him to die. But again, kudos for doing it in a way that was unexpected and really gut wrenching. Like when I saw that happen, I'm like, no. Oh, no. Like it made my skin crawl a little bit. Yeah. And he went out a hero. Like he could have just sat there and taken the med spike and tried to, probably if he did that, they might have been able to save him, but he sacrificed himself.
In that moment, they needed him with his navigational tool.
And he did it. Like he did it. Like,
and
that's amazing.
What were his last words or his last word?
Hope.
Climb.
No, climb.
Which is also K2SO's last word.
Oh, that's awesome. You are absolutely right. Wow. That's amazing.
Good point. Yeah, that's right.
Well done. Yeah. But no, it's great. And then the manifesto, we had kind of talked a bit about last episode what role that might play, but it seems pretty clear now that that's going to be what gets Cassian to be a true believer, is my guess. Is he's going to sit down and he has some reading to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great.
But granted, it's got to get to Tarkin somehow, right?
I don't think. No, it won't. I like this. I like this course.
Okay, I'm still holding the flame that it's going to.
I like it. It can be both.
I like that. Yeah.
But think of it this way: let's trace this for a second. So, Nemec, who wrote this manifesto and dies, now true believer in the rebellion. We don't know where the season's going, but if this is what gets Cassian to be a true believer, Nemec creates Cassian, who's a true believer, who then sacrifices himself to get to help get the plans for the Death Star, which gives the rebellion the chance to destroy the Death Star, which gives them the chance to bring down the Empire. So Nemec indirectly ends the Empire, which is amazing for that character, right? Like this, he doesn't know, he never saw that, but without his writings, he never the rebellion wouldn't have been as successful. That's wonderful.
Yeah, if he's responsible.
If that's where it goes.
Yeah, Diego. I mean, Diego's got like a bunch more to travel. We're only halfway done with the season, which is bonkers to me. But yeah, Diego's got a long way to go, and I love that they're setting him up, being like, no, I'm in it for my, he's really self-serving at this point. He does not fully believe in the cause. You can tell like he sympathizes with the cause, but he's not
exactly
fully in it. And like that's what these 2 seasons are going to be, like him going from that to giving his life for the cause.
Yeah, he knows it's right, but he just doesn't. He's not in it. He's Han Solo at this point.
Yeah. Pretty quick draw too, by the way.
Yeah,
that was incredible. That was honestly one of the greatest, I think, dialogue sort of action spy moments I've ever seen.
So tense, right? So we're talking about the skiing at the end, right? The conversation. They're sitting on a freighter full with 80 million in gold credits or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're having that conversation, and it's like, I mean, I was just like, Skeen, no. Yeah. And I was like, is he kidding? It's
like telling him where they can store the money, the credits, on a moon nearby. And
I think it was when Skeen was like, like when it became clear that he lied about his brother.
Yep.
Then
by the way, that brother I told you about, I don't have a brother.
Yeah.
That was tough.
It's such a great scene, and they acted so well, because for the most of that scene, I was just like, oh, Skeen's just testing Cassian again. This is another test, right? And then when it turned out, and then suddenly, like right before he shoots him, like, oh, this totally isn't a test. And it's just great being at the same level as Cassian through that entire scene was kind of amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. And he did the right thing, though. I have to admit, I'm still tense right now, because I'm like, where's that money at? Like, is Val capable of taking this to the last, distance it has to go?
Yeah.
I assume so, but it's still like there was so much, it was such an intense episode that I'm still, I don't know, still feeling it. I can't wait till next week to sort of get some resolution to this and see what the next step is.
And then a couple of questions. We know most other fates. We talked a little offline about Gorn and I can't think of the other character's name.
Tamarin.
Tamarin. Right. They both die heroically.
Or Taramyn Barcona.
Taramyn, right. As they're helping to basically get the payroll off, so they don't make it on to the ship.
Yeah.
But we see that, was it Cinta, right, is still on planet, and it seemed to be like that was the plan from the get-go, right? Like that didn't seem to be a blown issue. So I'm fascinated what they're going to do with her, what the plan is for that.
Yeah.
Hopefully a rendezvous with Vel, and hopefully they get out of it.
Yeah.
And I need to see that because I want that show next. Their mission was awesome. Planting the scrambler, the dive suits, just getting to the dam.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool.
Because she dresses up right in an Imperial outfit right at the end.
Yeah, and just walks away.
Just walks away. Yep. Which I guess if she's just going to join maybe the villagers, which, and we could talk about the Eye also.
Yeah, maybe there's more to that rebellion. Like maybe she's going to lead a rebellion with the
that's a good point.
Mountain, because
like a
seemed
local
the
rebellion.
chieftain was like ready to party. Like he wanted to rumble.
Yeah.
And we also find out stormtroopers tragically like killed her whole village or family or something.
Right.
Yeah, so we got the last two pieces of the backstory puzzle.
Oh, right. Yeah.
We found out that Terramin was a stormtrooper,
Mm-hmm.
and that stormtroopers murdered all of Cinta's family.
Yeah.
It was like very tidy. It was just like, oh yeah, and also, we started giving you backstories in the last episode.
Right.
Like here's the rest of them.
It's so great. Like it's just the way that's written as it's very human, as opposed to like if it was like the first Suicide Squad movie, we would have like 50 minutes of introductions where they introduce every single person's backstory, and then you're like, okay, we're good to go. As opposed to like, yeah, let it naturally come through the character interactions.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about Commandant J-Hold Behaz?
First of all, best name ever.
Yep, J-Hold. I was like, did she just call him a J-Hold?
Definitely.
Yeah, that guy is definitely a J-Hold. I've never heard that before, but he embodies what I would have had. What I would think if someone called someone a J-Hold.
I feel bad for Roboda and Lionheart.
Yes.
His kid.
Yeah.
Wow.
They almost got
so much
smoked.
this episode. I
thought Cinta was going to make a business decision after she knew it was blown. Just
Yeah,
gonna be
that's the vibe I got too. When she was pressing buttons, I was like, is Cinta just going to turn around and just end basically everyone, the entire 40-man regiment?
But that's important to think about from a storytelling standpoint, right? Like they didn't have to give him a wife and a son. Like that's like not integral to the plot, really, right? Like I part of it was that when they first had them gagged, like bound and gagged, right, and like held at gunpoint, it was troubling to me, right? And I like that it was troubling to me, that it was like they're rebels, like they are. There's the greater good, and they are going to take a child who does not sympathize with the Empire like his father very much.
They win.
Hostage.
They have to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very interesting line that they draw there, because it's, I mean, they dip into this more, and we'll probably see it more when we see the partisans and what separates the Alliance from the partisans. And they were like, I mean, they were still essentially suicide bombers. They were like, if you follow along, we'll actually let you go, which the Empire would never do.
Yeah.
But if you don't, we'll kill everybody. And I mean, I guess it was, who knows if it was a empty threat or not, but I thought Cinta was gonna. She wasn't looking for a fight. She was just going to shoot everybody.
I thought so too.
Only because stormtroopers like killed her family. So like that's of course, like
yeah.
She hates the Empire more than any of them. I feel like.
She does.
It's tough to look into the eyes of a 10-year-old boy and be like, your life's over.
Yeah. So let's talk to Leonard for a second, because I think, like, don't you figure this kid grows up to be a really big part of the First Order? Like
he does look First Order-ish, doesn't he?
But think about it from, like, if you're thinking about like indoctrination, right? And like, and all this, like his formative memory is the rebels took me hostage and my father died that night.
I'm dying to see the
he didn't really seem to love his
Imperial
father.
officer that's like, I feel ill today, and just just retires from every battlefront.
Yeah. But I feel like he didn't like his father, but to know that the rebellion caused his death at that age, you tend to then glamorize the person that was close to you. So I just have a feeling like we've just created another generation of Imperial in that one action.
Right. Yeah. The breeding hate theme. Happens with conflict and cycles of violence.
Which is not me saying like they should have done it differently. I don't know how else they could have.
That's just
with
what's going to happen now. Or again, and it's both sides. It's going to echo on both sides. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
He'd be a great Mandalorian cameo, I think.
Yeah, because he would probably be at that point. Yeah, he'd be like,
if they start running into the early First Order, like Leonard could be it.
What did you guys feel? How did you guys feel about the Colonel Pettigar sort of like pistol draw, and tell them to let the boy go. Like, what did you feel about that moment, like morally? Where
I thought that was great. I mean, I thought that was really.
You were like, that guy has to go. Like, you were agreed with just taking him out.
Oh no! Oh, about like icing him. I mean, I definitely was.
Yeah,
like, you
got iced, but he was basically saying, "Let the child go."
So here's the thing. It's just a weird thing. In that moment, he was on the moralistic right side.
Yeah.
In his entire career in life.
Right. Yeah, but overall, in total.
No, he would have killed them all. I mean, who knows about Pettigar? He seemed like actually a pretty chill dude. They said he's an engineer, so he's not really the upper echelon.
So the engineers have the orange squares. Is that on their own?
It must be.
It's. I mean, trying to decipher the pipage of like that whole thing. There's been so many retcons and everything else to figure out what all those things mean. I think they finally have it down, but
he's a colonel, I believe.
Colonel. Yeah. And no, it's one of those moments where in that scene, he was the person. I was weirdly kind of like, I didn't want him to shoot Cinta, or was it Cinta who had? I
think he had to drop on that. Oh no, because the ladies saved them at that moment.
Right. Oh, was it Nemec? Did Nemec have?
Yeah,
him?
it was Nemec. Is definitely.
Yeah, because it was a real when he shot, the shot that comes off is like right next to Nemec's head. Because I'm like, this is where Nemec gets it, and then he doesn't. Anyway, in that scene, it was such a weird moment because I'm like, I'm kind of rooting for him. Like I'm kind of on his side for half a second. I'm like, yeah, let the kid go. And then in the second one, I thought, I'm like, you can't let the kid go because he's not gonna like go and chill out. He's gonna go tell everyone there's a situation. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's a good scene. I mean, that's what Gilroy does best, right? Is looking at the complex characters and situations within this.
I thought that scene was standout. That was crazy. I was like, whoa, this is happening all too fast. And this is what happens when these moments occur, and everyone does draw their weapon. It's sort of awkward. Like it can be awkward immediately. It can be, especially with some people who are like, wait, there's a kid involved. Like, get this kid out of here. You should be safe at least. Like,
that's actually a really good point.
People are going to do strange things in those moments.
But let's think about that because like they didn't seem phased at all that there was a kid there.
No, they knew he was there. That was
part of the plan.
That was the motivation. Make J-Hold
oof. I mean, I know you got to do it, but man, oof. Yeah.
I think that was the most morally complex moment of like the episode.
I agree. I loved it. Give me some moral complexity. I love it. It makes me like, that's what keeps me.
I was astounded by that scene. I was like, wow, this scene is it's like almost like, it just felt so evolved for Star Wars. It was great.
So I talked to you all before the episode. I had a long weekend and then not a lot of sleep after that. So I was really tuckered out when I was watching the show. And that scene, I was riveted. And I was like, I was so fully awake for a scene that's just tense and mostly conversational. And then the action started, and I'm like nodding off a little bit. And again, not because of the action, but I've just found myself the older I get, the more I nod off during actions. I still remember when to go see Man of Steel in the theater, and I slept through the entire third act. When they're throwing each other through buildings, I'm like, I'll take a nap.
That's for some reason that's your trigger to be like, you don't need to watch
action.
It.
Action puts me to sleep. I'm an old man. I want conversations.
Oh man,
I was riveted by that movie when I saw it in theaters.
I was riveted by the
critical review, and then most people's review is just kind of like, it's kind of too dark of a Superman movie, and maybe Zack Snyder doesn't understand Superman. I was like, all right, I can see that, but I loved that movie. I was like, this movie is fantastic. Like Kevin Costner, it's great. Kevin
Costner is
Diane Lane is amazing.
Everyone's great in that movie. The combination of things that
everyone's firing on all cylinders in that movie.
Awry for me.
Russell Crowe? Are you kidding? Like what?
The Krypton stuff in that movie is
it's awesome. Like what? I'm going to watch it right now after the pod.
Yeah.
Okay.
I might too. Ben's like,
anyways,
let's stop.
You could fall asleep during that.
Yeah. So while you were asleep, Adam, we got
gently nodding
Gorn died first. It was sure enough. I had a bad feeling about that comms officer, and sure enough, he blew up their spot, and Gorn got first, and then they I was actually pretty surprised. I was rooting at this point for Nemec. I thought Nemec like was a better shot than I would have given him credit for. I'm like, he's gonna make it. He's gonna make it. And yeah, but then Terramin went down too right after that. Bummer of the first 2 kills there of our party, but okay. And then
I really wanted Terramin to continue in the story because I thought he had so much unpacking to do, having been a stormtrooper.
It's one of those things where you introduce the most interesting backstory and then kill him off immediately, which I'm like, that's kind of amazing choice, but it's also like, oh no.
We just found out, and then I was like, oh, this is almost a grittier version, of previous stormtrooper turned, rebel stories. And I wanted that. Yeah, I just thought it was doing such a good job with that story in particular, and I thought Terramin was such an interesting character. I just wanted more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed.
I did have a super nerd out yell at the Ether and my poor wife who was sitting next to me that happened. So Skeen goes into the armory and he's like looking through and he picks out a DL-19 long repeater. And that is one of my favorite blasters. They use it. I think we saw it first in Empire Strikes Back. It's just, I was like, oh, he is going to wreck shop with that thing because that is a great rifle. He didn't use it full auto, which was like, I thought there was going to be a scene where he's just mowing people down.
And he could have, for sure. There was an opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
Not so much.
I think he wanted some of his own
full auto. I was like, is that thing going full auto? Because it looked like a
yeah, he was going single shot. He was going.
I was like, but I thought that was the parallel though. The parallel was Cassian gets cover fire from Nemec, and Nemec provides good sustained cover fire to protect Cassian at the risk of his own life being taken. And then Terramin asked for the same thing from Skeen, and Skeen just doesn't cover him that well. Yeah, and he's like terrified to even start putting that thing.
It would have helped.
He throws him like
auto
the best
would have been
weapon,
probably pretty good cover fire.
He doesn't use the best weapon wisely.
Yeah. That's really good insight, Grant. And I think that talks about his character, right? Because we now know he just wants to survive and steal all the stuff. Yeah.
Which I love because that's the first character's main backstory we get, right? Was it last episode or the episode before? And so it's the one you kind of might be the episode before, which I love. But it might be it kind of makes you as a viewer buy into him first because it's just like it's the first story you get, right? And it's so memorable, and you're like, this guy is like fully accepting it and knows it. And then to compare that to the next story you get is Nemec, who is lovable, but seems kind of like very childlike, very not like it's hard to see him in a warlike situation. But man, when the blank goes down, Nemec is there. Like Nemec does everything through, which is what I love. Is like it's a little that reversal of like Skeen turns out to not be the battle hardened person you think it is, and Nemec stands up like to the challenge. It's awesome.
Yeah, he's a true believer in the fight, and he put his blaster where his mouth is for the in when the things got toughest, and I thought that was really amazing. And then of course, like we said, with the getting the medical shunt just to keep them alive and conscious long enough to navigate them through the eye.
Yeah.
Again, and talk about breathless. Like obviously, the eye was just as astounding. I mean, they bladed up. I was like, this has got to look amazing on screen because like they've been playing this up for the whole series now, practically. And
I love how it builds. It builds as the action builds and as the suspense builds. Because when it first starts happening, I'm like, that's what the big deal is about, right? Like I was just, and then it kept building and building and building, and Ben has it right behind him in his on there, but like the flight through the eye was amazing. Like again, it's just blown away by the show and the production value. It just felt like something you would see in a Star Wars movie on the big screen. Yeah,
well, I mean, I think they're mashing the TIE fighter button. It's like whatever you put a TIE fighter in like on becomes a Star Wars movie. Just like it's so you can like literally put it in any painting or like anywhere, and it's like, oh yeah, it's a strange world that we're in right now.
I kind of love the sound design of this episode too. At the time, the entire episode, really. I mean, the eye, you get the sort of the meteorites sort of like flying across the sky. You get all that sound design. It's amazing.
Real build up when one's coming. Yeah.
In surround sound, by the way. Amazing.
Oh, I bet.
That was sorry for the surround sound flex.
Chatter. Do you like all the radio chatter with like the Elkenzi like patrol sweeps like that were happening. Like if you watch the subtitles, you know that like Kimsey's headphones that are like off the entire episode, basically chatter is coming through that.
Just chatter, just full chatter the entire time.
It's such
you
a
read
fun
the chatter.
character,
It's really funny.
Like that.
Yeah,
the ambient sound design, and then his whole booth was amazing. It had so many buttons.
Yeah, I will say the sound design is really important because Ben and I listened to it in probably the two opposite ways you could listen to this episode. One, listen to surround sound.
Even
the other one, listen to it at like
watch it on your phone.
No, but like very low volume off the speakers of a television, flat screen television with sounds with subtitles on. Yeah. Sleeping 2-year-old upstairs right above it. But it still sounded great. Like you still, I mean, I guess the thing is like I still got it. Like I still felt the buildup and the rocketing past. Like it's really spectacular to be able to understand that and feel that in that bad of a listening environment.
Yeah, I wonder if even the sound design was why they did it that way, because you're going across from horizon to horizon. It's just like it builds. It's a slow move. It goes across the whole field of like, and it's really just powerful, like setting a cadence for the episode.
Yeah, the eye itself was beautiful, and then all the TIE fighters chasing, the hauler out of there. That was breathtaking. I mean, that was the breathtaking moment.
Yeah,
I mean that's amazing too. Is we're now like however long we are into this episode. And this is the first time we talked about the TIE fighters. Right? Like that, like
the sequence of them getting into the TIE fighters and like launching, I'm never sick of that. I never get sick of that.
Immersive. No. And then like even their comms, you could see like the blinking inside. Yeah. Like, you could see like comms blinking inside, and also like monitors, and like I guess their targeting goes haywire from the meteor, from the eye, basically. Like the meteor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it go wild. You get so many visions of screens. They're just like not shying away from what people are looking at, and it looks like nothing. It's like a piece of modern art. You know, it's
I also
like
love the shot of the TIE pilot like getting into the TIE fighter, like dropping in and sitting down. I was like, this is some of the best like just TIE pilot taking off.
Yes, because TIE pilots are like also maybe the best like uniform in the Empire. Like it's pretty close.
Yeah. It's really great. I got that. So I had a little moment where they were showing the scene. They were showing them like climbing in, and as I saw his feet, I literally thought, "Is this the most nerdy thing?" I'm like, "I'm gonna see a TIE fighter's pilot helmet," which is like one of my favorite things to see in Star Wars. And it was like a little moment of like, "Oh, I can still feel like the childhood joy of something."
Yep, that's right. Wait, I do still feel joy.
Yeah, feelings.
Yeah. I was like, "Ooh, TIE fighter." TIE fighter pilot.
What else? I guess another part, not to rush this along, but we spend the entire episode with the heist, except for the last 5 minutes, when we then cut to some of the other characters and see that. Like, what I love when we kind of pull out and we watch what's happening. We'll talk about it. Our first view of the Imperial Senate. We also get Luthen, but we get the fact that like it shows how big of a deal this is. Right, because it just seems like kind of a small little heist by these 6-7 people, but at the end of the day, like it's big enough to disrupt the entire Senate.
Core World News is covering it. It's galaxy-wide news. That's what that is.
Yeah, I love that. So we get that the Senate we haven't seen in 30 years, right? And like in live action, and it just looks it looks astounding,
empty.
Yeah,
and like nobody's really paying attention.
For Mon Mothma talking about the same issue she was talking about with her husband about the supply routes being cut off, and trying to get some legal action going.
You got like a fact-checking committee installed on Foreman to try the Empire for war crimes, which is like, but like. Now this has happened, and she's going to be villainized after this. She's going to be like, oh, she represents someone who's anti-imperial.
Yep, we're going to see a real tightening of the
It's going to be fun.
Yeah,
that's what I'm here for. Is that sort of Game of Thronesification of Star Wars, political
and it's con. Yeah, I think in this series, and then we cut to Luthen.
Yeah.
Speaking of a fun character that's changing up. Again, he apparently got to go to the back to just break character, guys. I need a room in my house where I just break into a new character and come out and just return to life.
Yeah.
Have like a laughing and dancing room. Yeah.
Just laughing at the end. I was like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
And then just being pumped. You were like, oh, we're going to sign our fleet systems. We're going to buy the X-Wings, guys.
Let's go. Make it rain on Sinai.
I would like all the X-Wings, good sir.
Yes. And maybe a couple U-Wings too in there.
Yeah, a couple of U-Wings, right? We got to see that thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be
and then
great.
we cut back to,
It probably AC-30s, the blasters that they use. They might be
That's right. Yeah, that might be the first purchase. I don't know what.
Thermal dets.
Yeah.
Little thermal detonators.
We also.
I love that we're all supporting like a guerrilla. Like,
yeah. That's what this is, right? Like it's all.
Ooh, yeah. DC-17 blasters too.
We're all like, yeah, we know, we all know how to build a rebellion, guys.
Yeah,
clearly a fake one. like 4-minute rebellion. We walk in to be like, we want this, and it's like, that's from Star Wars. That's not a real thing. Oh well, we have no idea. We've only been taught how to do it in a galaxy far, far away. We also cut to the ISB office, right? We get there, kind of like basically the speech of just from Partagaz to be like, yeah, call everyone, tell them you're not coming home. Like you're here. Yeah.
Yeah, a very classic scene, right? It's like, we're going to stay here till we get it done.
Yep, we're going to brew some pots of calf. Yep.
So good.
Yeah, that's still a super fun scene, though. You get the tenseness of like
the music, Nicholas Breital, the music, and like going to the ISB headquarters and hearing some of that new music. That was wow. That was the kind of more, I guess, suspenseful music that we're hearing now. It's super good.
Yeah, I think this might have been the best music yet, and I have a feeling it's just going to get better as we keep going. The music, especially at the end of the episode, that sort of like played us out. It was soaring, and I was just it got all synth wavy for a minute,
right?
And I was like, yeah, like that's literally my jam. So it was great. I was like, this guy has range. He's using all the tools. It's like, it's not just going to be all orchestral instruments, though it is like orchestra heavy. And then, but like, now it's like, yeah, mix in those synths in there, make it a little modern, make it a little fun, give it a new vibe. Really good music. But
Nemec's manifesto, guys.
Yeah.
It goes to Cassian. Oh, he has it now. So
maybe he just goes to a quiet
Cassian, I would say at this point. Luthen's going to have to get in touch with him again, so Luthen's going to seek him out, I imagine.
Yeah, I think he is.
Yep.
They're going to give him another cell or it'll be another job. Like, I'm really starting to think what Rocket Del Jason was saying is like, we're just going to get these one 007 movie after another. It's just going to keep going. And, I mean, they don't always all have to be as big as that heist, but it's going to be another like impossible mission that only Diego Luna can solve, which would be so fun to do.
Very cool. It's a very fun show.
Yeah,
it's so compelling. Yeah.
We're there. We're right at the end. I think we covered it, but do we want to try and guess what we're going to see in episode 7, just so we can be wrong again?
It's so hard because I feel like we're just starting another movie, right? Like I feel like we're starting from start again. It's like, where is he going? Well, he's not going to go back to, what's it called? Because he's still being looked at for there. So I think we're going to start with Cassian in a completely different spot. We know that we're going to see Saw Gerrera at some point, right? Like we saw him in the previews. And part of me wonders if he's actually going to encounter him in the wild, right? As opposed to being part of the rebellion.
And all the Imperial sector garrisons have been activated now. So the Empire's on high alert.
Yeah.
So maybe do you think he joins with a different rebellion group? Like he's been
maybe
like maybe his
Saw Gerrera maybe, right?
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah.
But maybe Skeen was reporting back or someone, and they got wind, and so he's going to get recruited by Saw.
Yeah.
Or he's going back to barracks to talk to Bix or something.
He could, but I just don't think he would. He's such a survivor that I think he's just he knows he's known there, and I doubt he's going to go back there yet. And I feel like, I don't know. I mean, actually, you know what we might get? Maybe we get like a series that's him, now that I have this money, and now that I'm out of this, I'm going underground, but I'm also looking for my sister. Maybe we reconnect with that plot. Maybe it's the sister search.
Did you get vibes that like he thought Cinta might be his sister, or do you think his interests were more romantic with her?
Huh. I didn't really catch either.
Yeah, it was romantic, but then Vel like intercedes, and it's just like stay focused.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah,
I mean, you can kind of deduce it was Vel, but Skeen at some point says she's sharing a bedroll with someone else, and you're sort of left to wonder. But he is kind of friendly with her, and Vel is like, enough of that. Like, as soon as he started to act too friendly with her, she was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
I like Vel. Vel seems like another character that we're gonna follow, right? I mean, like Vel seems like a huge part of this show.
I think so.
Vel.
I think we're gonna see her more
really
interacting
big part of this rebellion. Like, honestly, like Luthen might be the mind, but Vel seems like she's in the field and it's kind of like leading the field.
Yeah, Vel is the Cassian of Rogue One.
Yeah.
Or
Vel is the proto Cassian, the one who came before.
Yeah. We're also going to get Cyril Karn, probably. I think they're going to be like, wait, you knew this guy, like you chased this guy, and that's going to be his value. Or he'll get whatever his new job is from his uncle and be like, wait, I know that dude. I wonder if it's the same guy.
Yeah.
And, they're back on the trail.
Yeah, this might be the point to do a 3-episode arc of like, let's follow both of their journeys, Cassian going to ground and Cyril kind of trying to re-emerge, right? Like maybe that's where we go with it.
Yeah.
To set up the finale.
Which will be a Slymore one-woman show.
Yeah.
Yeah. When are we getting Slymore dinner party? Because I signed up for that when I heard about it.
Yeah.
And I still haven't seen
it.
It
was promised.
Jesus with the dinner party, which I've never thought I'd ever say in my life. But
I think we just got some of that in the comics, so we're kind of like that's where we're sort of
sure.
That's where our thoughts.
MOAR more. I need more of that.
100%.
Yeah, I don't know. Episode 7, I imagine Cassian's gonna be looking for his sister again on a new world. You could even time jump here, honestly.
Yep, a little bit.
This isn't the season they time jump.
Oh, they don't time jump in this season?
No, I mean they could time jump in a matter of like weeks or months, right? Like you could get a tiny little time jump.
Yeah.
To show that it's not immediately following. Yeah.
Be interesting if they flipped over to more of Coruscant or even just the Imperial side, like an episode just of like the Empire doing stuff and sort of we don't know where they went. Maybe we get some resolution with the money and
I wonder if
Val,
I wonder if Cassian gets an Imperial entanglement again just right away, honestly.
Yeah,
totally could be. Like there's like you said, they're out there hunting now. They've been all activated.
One would think he'd
all those credits are worthless at that point. They're just going to take it off him and imprison him. And then there's a K2S.
Yeah,
K2S at that point. I don't know.
Could be. I mean, we could get Cassian imprisoned for a while, right? Like that could be something that happens.
Yeah, and just take the piece off the board
character.
And focus on other people.
Yeah, and then we also get his prison story, right, and Breakout.
Yeah. That's interesting.
There's a lot of options. There's a lot of things we could do.
All right. Well, that's good. Yeah. We could pontificate for another hour here. We do have a couple comics to talk about, and then maybe a game ?
Yeah, I can do a game. Do a couple options. We could do the game now because it's Cassian related, or we can save it to the end. Either way is fine.
Poor comics people. I just am like, we do cover the comics. We love the comics. I hope, but the comic books always get kicked to the end of the episodes.
Yeah, let's just do the comics then. We can come back.
Let's do the comics.
It's not
around to Andor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Let's do that. Let's talk about comics.
All right. Welcome to Kyber Crystal Comics Corner. We have an interesting episode today. We have 2 kind of dangling issues to talk about to get us back on track with the arcs. We're going to cover a single issue of Bounty Hunters, number 23, and Darth Vader, number 24. Grant, why don't I throw it over to you to kind of give us the lowdown on Vader 24?
Oh, we're back, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Covering Vader once again. This is issue 24, Old Friends. It's the end of the publisher's arc. And we had covered, I think, 23, or I think we covered multiple issues in previous episodes. Yeah. This is our finale for this arc. Old Friends, writers Greg Pak, Marco Castiello is the artist. Carlos Lopez is the colorist. VC's Joe's Caramagna is the letter. Guys, this issue was incredible. Just a quick summary, just to catch up our audience here. Darth Vader and Sabe help Anakin's childhood friend Kitster and Wold strike back against a corrupt governor working with Crimson Dawn. Upon sieging an old science facility with a handful of stormtroopers, Darth Vader and Sabe discover the governor is using a technology, a mobile fortress able to siphon the life energy from planets. Darth Vader and Sabe and Ochi of Bastoon work to stop the governor's plans and destroy the technological terror she wields, but she escapes, and Vader is in hot pursuit. It ends with Vader sort of blasting off, chasing her. What a fun issue. Lots of flashbacks throughout. Again, Greg Pak using the sort of like all crimson sort of panels to show the past. Just haunting stuff. Loved.
Yeah, it was a weird turn there. So like this is all very troubling for poor Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker. Yeah. It's very confusing to be working with this woman that looks exactly like his deceased wife.
Yeah.
And he's also morally very just like confounded. He's like trying to be Darth Vader as hard as he can, but having this, person pulling at his heartstrings and making him do things that Darth Vader wouldn't necessarily do, like save people. And he's still trying to be such a hard A, as Darth Vader is, but he's really just still shackled to Padme in so many ways.
Yeah, it's really the closest we've seen Vader be Anakin, right? In anything. He's in certain moments he feels like Anakin.
Well, because he gets out. Well, I guess he gets outed in 23, right? I just watched read 23 and 24.
Yeah, at the very end is Sabe knows. Yeah.
Sabe knows. It's like she knows who he is, so he kind of, some of his defenses go down a little bit. Same thing happened in the Obi-Wan series. Really, is like once he cracked the veneer, or cracked the helmet and could actually look eye to eye, he knew it was blown, and he behaved a little bit like Anakin there.
Yeah.
Such a complex character. Still doing great stuff with Darth Vader. It seems like a bottomless well of great content.
Yeah, I cannot wait for all of us to kind of get to issues 25, 26, 27, because there is just some really beautiful moments with Sabe and sort of flashing back to, what Padme said about Anakin, that there's still good in him, and sort of like, there's just, I can't wait to talk about this next arc coming up. But in this issue, you sort of get a lot of setups for that. Like the story is that this is basically Vader's chance to save Padme, like to save this doppelganger of Padme, because he never got that chance. And so that's a really interesting idea, and I think that's a really fun idea to explore with Darth Vader. And also like what it means if he does save someone who basically is kind of the spitting image of Padme. What does that mean for him? Is that a sort of like redemption? Is that sort of like, does that solve a lot his character, or will something once again come and impede him from doing that and possibly take Sabe out of the mix? I mean, it's a lot of interesting sort of consequences to what's going on here. But Ochi comes back. That's fun.
Ochi's back.
Yeah, you had mentioned
here to serve Vader, his faithful servant.
Sure.
He's kind of a clown at this point. Ochi.
Yeah.
He's just skittering between leader to leader, and it's just sort of like he's supposed to be this cold-hearted assassin, but like at this point he's just like trying to stay alive desperately and win favor with the leaders, and he's not doing a very good job.
Whoever's gonna help him survive, especially considering like but we read was Shadow of the Sith, and like
a lot of Ochi at the end.
And he's very threatening in that book. Literally, I mean, he kills Rey's parents.
He's bloodthirsty and threatening.
Yeah.
And then it's interesting. His portrayals have sort of changed in the different kind of mediums and texts that we see him in.
Different eras of Ochi.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure. I mean, I mean, there's canonical solves to that, but I feel like Who is Ochi? I still don't really know.
Right.
Not sure.
There was a great gag there actually where he was like,
He's like the Deadpool
aha,
of
you
Star
didn't
Wars. He's like
expect
the
Ochi
Deadpool
of
of
the
Star Wars
stew.
at this point.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
droid was like, Ochi of what?
Yeah.
Before the droid died, but it was like kind of like
He'll never be the
supposed to
Blade
know
of
you are.
Bardata. I'm sorry. He'll never be
Mhm.
the Blade.
No. Yeah. I do love the again, we talked about it earlier, but the use of the kind of the crimson flashbacks and internal thought processes, and really ends an interesting point with that.
Yeah, it's almost got
Right,
Padme
we get-
as like that sort of monolithic structure, like just like putting her hand on that door, like really haunting spaces. I feel like are explored.
I
Yeah.
think that was supposed to be, so that was a like dream sequence, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
Yeah, it was like
but it was his like
yeah.
creche, his like little hibernation.
It was his hibernation pod. Now that you say it, yeah,
But
his
it's huge, and it's like
It's
sort of-
huge.
It shuts at some point. And that imagery, just when it shuts and she's in the outer shell, it's like just dark.
Yeah.
yeah,
But
like
he
metaphor for him
breaks
trying to keep
through at the but breaks through at the very end, right? Are we seeing
Yeah,
a bit of a reemergence
The
of
light.
Anakin or something else going on?
I'd love to see a little romance there, actually, like a real romance with Vader and Padme.
Well, also that pod, inside that pod, it's presumably just bright light, right? Like
Right.
There's meditation pod. What
Yeah,
does that mean? Almost, in a lot of ways.
I don't know.
I don't know
that's
either. But yeah.
Vader's side of the pod, right? And there's bright
Yep.
light, but I mean, it is usually like in his meditation pod, it is sort of well lit in there, but I don't know.
But it's blinding. Yeah.
It's artificial light. It's weird.
Yeah,
And,
Yeah.
and just before that, we see him kind of like meditating over being present at the destruction of Alderaan and his slaughtering of the Sand People, the Younglings, the separatists, right? Like we see him just listing off all of his most
heinous crimes.
and that's something that's again interesting to see Vader contemplating the evil he's wrought.
Yeah,
I love that Vader
Yeah.
never gets to finish a sentence in this issue.
Yeah, it's true.
Constantly getting taken out. But
interrupted. Yeah, by various. Yeah. Fun episode. We see him riding off into the sunset, and we'll see where he goes next. When this arc gets through, whenever that is, and they set us a battle signal. Anything more you want to talk about this, or can we get to the greatest comic
let's
book
jump
of all
into-
time?
yeah, let's jump into it.
Sure. We can talk bounty hunters.
Okay, so you know how much we love bounty hunters, and especially I know you all love Dengar, and you can imagine when I saw the title of this issue, a clear and present Dengar, that I was elated, ready to go, and
I'm sure you
it
were
delivered.
very excited.
This was, Ethan Sachs, I think, listens to this podcast, and if you're out there, bro, you're great, man. Thank you.
Yeah, keep doing the good work.
Please keep listening. Because for two reasons. One, because like he's just because of the Dengar controversy, with Adams just sort of naysaying that shall be dismissed. And then he leaned straight into Dengar.
Yeah.
And then also a certain character that Dengar is involved with in this episode that I'll get to in a second. Let me do the credits first. Ethan Sachs is a writer. Different guest artist here, Natasha Bustos. A little bit different style this time. Arif Peralta is a colorist. VC's Travis Lanham is the letterer. And we had two different cover artists, I guess, Giuseppe Camencoli and Jesus Abertov. So yeah, in this episode we have Dengar. This is a Dengar-centric issue. It's all about who he is as a character and what he does. We start with him racing on Corellia, because we know he is from Corellia, against Han Solo in swoop bike races. And then then he's up on this mission for Crimson Dawn to assassinate the leader of Mortar's Whale, that is the last pin to fall in this very long bounty hunters adventure. trying to get Cordelia. Is that her name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cordelia,
Yeah,
who's
well done.
the heir apparent. Now she's not the heir apparent. She is the leader of two clans and can bring two clans together. And she's the property currently of Kira and Crimson Reign. And then one has to believe that Kira organized this so that probably for good reasons. She just wants people to come together. But anyways, the story is about that assassination of Comdak, the leader of Mourner's Wail, who I can only assume is inspired by our own Grex Kondak.
Of
Comdak?
course. Absolutely.
What a great name.
Comdak.
But also, Cordelia
Yeah.
is like the sort of like the heir to the crime families, right? Like,
Both.
Yeah, she's
She's no longer heir. She's now the two leaders have now been killed. So technically,
killed.
she is.
yeah.
It's
the
her
leader,
crime
I
family.
guess. Yeah.
That's important to know.
All she has to do is show herself.
Yeah. I will comment about Dengar now, as I'm
All right.
want to do. This is exactly how to use Dengar. Like, this is great. Lean into the fact that he's lame, and he knows he's lame, and he uses that to his advantage.
Whoa.
I mean,
whoa.
Yeah.
Lame? No.
Yeah.
Scrupulous? Yes.
Yeah.
And not a very virtuous character, certainly. But lame.
But he could only get that close to a crime syndicate boss because he has not been very successful in the past.
I loved this story. I just thought
Never underestimate Dengar.
No, absolutely not. And all jokes aside, I love that he used the general disrespect for Dengar in the fandom as a way to tell a story. It was great. It's exactly what I want.
Yeah.
I mean, he's clearly
just keep underestimating me.
No, and here's the thing. He's not my favorite character, nor will he ever be my favorite character, but he is invited to the Death Star. I'm sorry, to the Imperial, to the Star Destroyer by Darth Vader amongst for their bounty hunters. So he's got to have some skills, right? Some reputation. He is the worst of the best, basically. So they're doing a good job of explaiing that.
Grant, sorry, we
I mean, he gets like
No.
into sort of like cyber augmentation at some point. I don't know.
That's true. Rash Gardeng. Yeah.
He's still
Rash
alive.
Gardeng.
Yeah.
He is. I mean, he has made it, which is impressive for a bounty hunter. Let me read you my favorite quote of all time.
All right.
Mama Stamooch. Starts out. Mama Stadooch is not gonna be happy to see what you did to her swoop, Dungar.
That's perfect. Oh, this is one of the greatest comics ever written.
Yeah. Hater's gonna hate.
Yeah. But and then Dengar beats that guy to death. So there's that happening.
Yeah, with a crowbar, with a broken piece of his swoop bag. He's a tough customer, Dengar. I that's his thing. That's his. It is meta a little bit, right? It's just like, oh yeah, keep disrespecting Dengar. He's just gonna keep collecting bounties. He has a girlfriend in this too, which is wild. But
I think wife, right? I think that's who he is. I think that's why he's indebted to Crimson Dawn, right? I think that's the earlier story plot, was that they'd rescued her. She was held captive, and they had rescued her, or had provided him with the opportunity to rescue her. So that's why he's working for Crimson Dawn.
Yeah, there was a great setup for that in an earlier issue.
Yeah. But this issue is exactly, we're getting into the kind of bounty hunter story that I thought we'd get, at the end of this issue. He's coming back and getting picked up by the crew, and there's Bosk, and they're like, can we trust him, Bosk? And he's like, of course not. But he'll do what he's going to do.
This guy? No, I would no.
No, absolutely not.
No.
With a lot of S's in there, and
where's that movie? We need the Bosk movie at this point. Oh my god!
Someone's gonna be a Bosk stan and do it right, but it's there. We could do a full alien Bosk movie, but it has to look like Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, it has to be kind of bad.
It does, not the new Trendoshans that they're using on The Mandalorian.
And it's still got to work somehow, which is I don't know if the technology's there yet.
It's a tricky needle to thread. I will say, lizards are tough. The Gorn, which is funny because we have Lieutenant Gorn. But the Gorn from Star Trek is one of the best things. And then when they keep trying to update the Gorn in more current things, it's super CGI. And I'm like, no, I want the really wonky rubber suit Gorn on a desert planet. And like, but I don't, because if they did that, I'd be like, that looks horrible. So it's such a hard thing to do.
I don't think the mouth could even really move that much in Empire Strikes Back, like to try to get dialogue out of that thing. But if you could do it, that's what I want. Like get four guys with like, pistons and whatever, how they did it.
One guy
to control his face. Yeah, one guy's tongue, one guy's eyes and eyelids, and another dude's mouth, and like, and maybe like his like ear things twitch or something, like just to
and
like
he's very stiff. He rarely moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm cool with. He's just there. He's, resting.
When he moves, it's stop motion. It's like
yeah, there you go. Just do it full stop motion.
Claymation.
I love it. Yeah.
That would be so fun.
That would be amazing.
You could only Taika Waititi, I think, could get away with that.
That's true. Oh, that's totally a Taika move. I not to completely change subjects, but I just want to give Dengar some credit where credit's due, since I so rarely do. During the whole shootout at the restaurant, he frees a caged animal just basically to do so, or I guess he also uses it to help knock someone out. But he frees a convor. That was nice of him.
Yeah,
and convor. And then my favorite thing is
there you go, Adam.
Yeah,
there's a connection point.
Yeah. Super powerful animal, by the way. This is it was the spirit of the in Mortis, in the Mortis arc, the light side transforms into a what is it? Convor. One to say
Convor. I mean, maybe that's why Dengar is one of the few bounty hunters still alive in the Rise of Skywalker sequel, right? He's he's doing good for the Force. The Force is looking out for him.
I mean, whether he knows he's doing it or not, but okay.
Exactly.
Luck drives this whole galaxy. It's a Skeen line.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Oh, Skeen.
All right. Well, anything else that you want to glow about Dengar? I guess that's it on the head wraps. Though I did find that they are ceremonial. That's a look. He just went with white and armor later in life. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cool.
I love
Simon Pegg, I know you're listening too. Anytime you want to pitch that Dengar script, let's go.
Look, good against remotes is one thing. Good against the living, that's something else.
All right, everyone ready to play another installment of Google Fill in the Blank? But this time it's Andor edition.
Oh, right.
My field com, and I've got my Imperial blouse on. I'm ready.
So, just to refresh us all, Google likes to helpfully fill in the if you start typing a question or anything with the most searched questions and terms. A couple things. I have eliminated any problematic questions.
All right.
Because there are a couple. We can talk about it if we want or not. I prefer not to. These are mostly questions or terms or mostly characters related to Andor. And I have a scoring system that I'm just going to set up real quick. A couple of parameters. So basically the points are reversed. So if you get the number one answer, you get full points, or number one question, I should say. You get full points. The most it shows is 9 questions. So the most points you can get is 9 points if you get the number one.
Oh, okay.
If you get the number 9, you get 1, and you can kind of do the math between that. Couple things. Some of these terms are so unclear. There's only 1 or 2 search terms, so at that point you only get a couple points. Does that make sense?
I go up to 9. I only go up to 8.
Okay.
9. You don't. What's
Star
that?
Wars, right?
Yeah. Oh, here you go. Well done.
That joke. What was the joke?
He has to go up to 9. He only goes up to 8.
I don't want to rain on your parade. Don't worry.
Throwing shade.
Really? Okay. Let's go.
Oh no.
No.
4 hours later.
The saga films?
Oh wait, I get it.
Yeah. And then
it took me a while because
keep order. So I have 10 terms, really 9 plus a bonus. We'll start with Ben. Ben will get a guess, then Grant will get a guess, and I'm going to do 2 guesses per round. Does that make sense? So
Okay.
Ben Grant, and then we'll reverse it and go Grant, Ben. So that.
But you only get one correct answer, right? You can't get two correct answers.
You can get two correct answers, yes, but
Oh my
you have to
gosh.
guess
All
one at a time. Then Grant gets a shot, and then you
All
get
right.
another shot.
You got to keep score then, Adam, too.
Oh, I am. I've got it up.
I assume this will be a very high scoring affair.
It might. So,
all right.
I'm ready.
Late breaking news actually goes up to 10. All right, that's fine.
Okay.
Doesn't really change anything. All right, so we're gonna start pretty straightforward. I typed in is Andor, just Andor.
Google?
What do you
Is it
think?
Google?
Now remember, this is what people on the internet, every person, not just Star Wars fans, are asking. Is Andor blank?
This is just everyone? Okay.
Everyone, based on most popular. Any guesses? Ben goes first.
Oh, there's so many good guesses
Yeah.
here. I feel like I'm trying to think of the dumbest thing possible. I feel like would be the toppest one. And by dumb, I mean least exposed to Star Wars.
Dumb is all right. I'll take it. Go ahead. What do you got?
Is Andor in A New Hope?
No,
that's too
not
dumb.
on there. That's impressive though. I'm shocked the internet didn't ask that.
Like
Good-
I was
good
gonna say,
guess.
like, is Andor in Star Wars?
Yeah,
but,
not.
Is
That's also not
Andor
there.
alive?
No, but that wasn't a real question. My real question was, is God, I had it and it's escaping my brain. It's so general, right?
It's very general. They're usually only like a couple of words, and they're usually pretty general.
Is Andor a planet?
Yeah, that is there. That is up there. 2,
Okay.
3, 4. That is number 5. So that's worth 5 points, Ben. That's a good
All
one.
right.
Number 5 is Andor a planet in Star Wars? You are locking into to people, to humans. All right, Grant. What's your turn? What's your guess?
Is Andor on Disney Plus?
Shockingly, no. People do know it's on
wow.
Disney Plus. That I was surprised too. I thought for sure not there.
The only thing
Ben,
they do
second
know.
guess. Yeah, Ben, second guess.
Oh wait, no, that was I gave.
Oh,
it.
you got your 2. Okay, great.
I
You
thought
get-
we
you
did
get
2
another.
and 2, but yeah.
I was gonna do Ben Grant, but it's fine because you didn't get the. That's all right. Grant, so you get a second guess.
Is Andor a rebel?
Good one.
No, not there. So I think so. Okay, guesses. You're gonna get kind of a second bite at this apple in a second, and I'll tell you why.
Is Andor is it outside the show, or is it kind of like?
So that's the thing. If you write Andor, right? We'll talk about what number 2 will be in a second. First, number 1 is Andor good? That's the first question.
God.
Oh wow, okay.
Then you get, is Andor over? Is Andor in Rogue One? So there's a good question. Is Andor in Rogue One?
Oh, wow.
Is it a limited series? Is it a planet? Is it before Rogue One?
Planet is good. Does sound like a planet.
I will categorize as somewhat problematic, but I just have to put it in here. Is Andor woke? Was number 7.
Oh God.
Boo. Is Andor season 1 over? Is Andor only 6 episodes? Is Andor out? All right. Now we'll move around and talk more about characters. So we might get a little more. So what I did, which is a bit of a treat, is instead of just writing Andor, I wrote is Cassian Andor. So this narrows it down a little bit. We'll start with Grant this time. Grant, you get one guess.
Cassian Andor a spy?
No.
Okay.
Not there. Good guess though. Okay. Ben, do you have a guess?
Is Cassian Andor alive in New Hope?
I'll give you on credit. Is Andor alive? I think
is Andor alive. All right, that was
That's worth 7 points though, because that was the 4th most searched.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
So you're up to 12 now. So pretty good. The scoring system's not going to make sense, I've realized, but we'll keep going. I might just give you points if you get one on the list, if you don't mind me, because I realize.
Okay, yeah. That's
because I realize what's going to happen is when we get down to like, there's only 2 answers.
I don't know. I kind of like ranked because it is a ranked system. You know, it's sort of.
I'll do both, and we'll see what happens.
Because then it's very much like Family Feud. This is the most dynamic game we've played yet.
It is. It's very dynamic. It's unbuilding. All right, so now we're back to Grant. Grant's second guess.
Is Cassian Andor dead?
Yeah, good guess. It is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the fifth. It's number 5, so it's right there in the middle. So you get 5 points. Okay. Good. Ben, one more guess.
Oh man. I wanted to be like, is Cassian Andor woke? Yeah, I don't know. See, I've thrown off by hearing all the answers to the other one because I bet like, is Cassian Andor good is like on the list somewhere.
It's up to you to whether or not you want to steal from the other list.
Good one, yeah, because that was the top one on the other one.
Yeah, I mean, is Cassian Andor good?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
All right, that is worth 2 points. Is Cassian Andor a good guy? I'll give you good.
Yeah. Okay.
So here we go. Number 1. Is Cassian Andor in Rogue One?
Oh no! Yes, so that is.
Yeah.
I knew
number 2.
These people. Yeah.
Number 2 is my favorite. Is Cassian Andor the Mandalorian?
Oh, that's so good.
Ooh, I like that. That's crazy.
Is Cassian Andor in Rebels? Is Cassian Andor alive? Is Cassian Andor? I'm gonna skip that one because it's problematic. Is Cassian Andor dead? Number 6 is my favorite. Is Cassian Andor?
Is Cassian Andor?
Full stop. Never seen that before. Full stop. That is a search. Is Cassian Andor canon? Is Cassian Andor a good guy? Number 10 is probably also problematic, but I'm going to read it because I just need to show the dumbness. Is Cassian Andor Mexican?
Okay.
No, because Star Wars doesn't have
character.
It's a fictional character in a galaxy that doesn't have Mexico. There's no Mexico in Star Wars.
What's the name of the home planet? I forget. It's not. He's not from Phoenix. It's not.
Canary.
Thank you. Yeah. Can we just like talk about 2 for a second? Like that means that someone's like, I've got this figured out because I've watched a lot of Star Wars.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian doesn't take his helmet off, so we don't really know who he is. And so like maybe it's Jacob. No, it's I thought it was
like he's the Mandalorian.
Let me double check.
Who are these people?
No, it's literally it's the
oh no,
it's
like Canary. I was like, are they like new Mandalorians?
Yeah, I mean, I could totally see that, and maybe
I've watched 3 episodes of The Mandalorian. I got this pretty much locked down.
And I'm also afraid it might be due to racism, but I'll leave that alone.
Do you have more of these, or those are the 2?
Oh yeah, no, I got more.
Okay,
we got plenty more. So let's start moving through these. All right, Ben will start this round. Is Mon Mothma?
Is Mon Mothma a rebel?
No. Okay. Not quite. No, not close enough that I give it to you.
Okay.
Is Mon Mothma a senator?
Also not in there. No.
Yeah, these are 2 high-minded questions.
Wow.
It needs to be like,
dumb it down a bit.
Mon Mothma on Pornhub. Like that needs to be like.
It's funny thing I don't have a safety search on, but that is not coming up. Ben, what's your actual second one? I'm not going to charge you for that one. Comedies don't count. Joke answers don't count.
Yeah. Is Mon Mothma in Rogue One?
No, shockingly not. Oh, all right. We're like, no. All right. Grant, can you pull it out? Can you get one? Can you get one of these?
Okay.
Dumb it down more.
Okay. Is Mon Mothma in Star Wars?
Too dumb. No, not on there.
Too dumb? Okay, I gotta pull up.
All right, number 1. It's Mon Mothma in Andor.
Oh gosh, come on.
I know. In Clone Wars, in A New Hope. Next one is problematic, and I'm not going to read it. Is Mon Mothma death? Just want to say that again. Is Mon Mothma death?
So there's enough people that have searched that have this Illuminati
I know what that's
theory. From. What?
It's from, I know exactly why that's happening. It's from Sandman, and they're getting the actress confused with Gwendolyn Christie, who plays Death in
is she? Does she?
Death.
the
Does she
actress that
play
plays
Death? So
Death?
that's where that's coming from, I think.
Okay.
All right. Wow.
Which I did watch. Well,
Okay,
good
so now
catch. I did watch all the
You gotta have
Sandman.
your finger on the pulse of
Idiots.
America.
Sorry, real hard. Is Mon Mothma in Revenge of the Sith? Is Mon Mothma force sensitive? That's an interesting question. I like that question. Is she good? Is she alive?
Force sensitive is like a very fuzzy word.
It is. It's impressive that that's enough people have kind of knocked it up there.
Force sensitive.
Yeah. And then in the prequels. All right. Next one. Some of these are going to move faster because we have a limited number of responses. So, is Luthen Rael? Now, here's what I'm going to say. There's only one search term that comes up. One fill in the blank response. As I said, these start to narrow down real quickly.
Okay.
So there's only one. Everything else is like things that have nothing to do with him. So I think, Ben, did you go first? I think that round. So Grant, I think you go around. What is the one? Is Luthen Rael blank?
Is Luthen Rael a rebel?
No.
Is Luthen Rael no?
Oh yeah, in Andor. That's a good one.
No, because it doesn't make sense because he's never been in anything else.
Right.
So,
yeah. Good. Pull out of that one.
Is Luthen? I had it. Oh man. No, I lost it. We're going dumb here, right?
Kind of, maybe. Take a guess, and then I'll give a hint if both you don't get it right in the first round.
I'm just gonna say something that I can sleep with at night.
Go for it.
Is Luthen Rael a spy?
No, but you're thinking about it. So here's the thing. Now you're both there. It's not the smartest thing that I've seen typed, but remember, think of it this way: the person who's googling this has to know the name Luthen Rael, right? So now we're getting to a little heavier, right? People, not your average person googling. It's a little more connected to Star Wars. Mm-hmm. So you're getting there, Ben, with this a rebel, right? So you're getting some terms in there. Grant, do you have a second guess?
Is Luthen Rael an Imperial?
No, but you're getting there.
That was exactly what I was going to ask.
Just something weird like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Is Luthen Rael human?
No, you're getting there close. Is Luthen Rael a Jedi? Is the question.
That's
the question that's out there, right? So changed a little bit. Next, I have one that has zero asked questions. So it's about Bix. Is Bix? And there's nothing. There's non-Star Wars related searches for just BIX if you have any.
Yeah.
Any guesses about what the this one I'll just open up to anyone. Nothing just Star Wars.
Is Bix compatible with Windows 95?
Nope, I like it better. Nope. Is it a Scrabble word? Is it a valid Scrabble word? Is it a word?
Is it a word?
Is it a word? So we'll move past Bix. Unfortunately, no one's Googling Bix. However, people are Googling B2EMO, B2, the droid. Right. There are two Googles that come up. I think we start with Ben on this one.
Sure.
Any guesses?
So is B2 emo?
Yep.
All right. Is B2 emo in The Cure?
No, but I love it. I laugh every time I see his name. Grant,
sacrificing that one for comedy.
That's emo related to Dio.
No.
Okay.
But I like that line of reasoning.
I was gonna say, is B2 emo R2D2?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, like
no. Grant.
Really? On this? Okay.
He gets a third chance? Oh,
no, I thought he only had the one, right? What was his other one?
Oh, yeah.
One. Yeah.
You asked if he was related to Dio, and then Ben said, is R2D2.
Is B2 emo Cassian's? Is B2 emo Andor's droid?
No, good guess though.
Owned by
Ben, you should almost get points for that because the number one search is B2 Emo K2SO.
Oh,
So they listed another droid.
I almost said that, Adam. That was my first.
I know. I was like, oh, you were circling
no, I was
around
gonna
it.
say that, but I was like, that's not. Funny.
Yeah. And number 2 is B2 Emo CGI. So people are interested about the making.
Oh yeah, that's a good question actually.
All right, now we're getting to another ones that are be kind of quick. Is Canary? So Canary is the planet that we just.
Canary a bird?
No, and there's only 2 responses that actually has the spelling from that, but I like that. Ben, do you have a guess?
Is Canary in Rogue One?
No. Any other guesses?
Is Canary destroyed?
Nope.
Is Canary in a cold mine?
No. I like it. Here's the problem with this: is Canary is the name of the planet, but also the name of the language they speak, and so people are really interested in the language. So they were Googling a real language or a language. All right. This one's just for funsies, and I think I Googled it. Is Tim, Timm, zero questions. No one likes Tim. Google searches. Moving on. No Google searches for Tim.
No one cares about Tim.
Yeah. Tim clapping.
Now we get to 2 kind of bonus rounds. Tony Gilroy. Is Tony Gilroy? There's only one that really relates. There's actually weirdly none that relate to is Tony Gilroy. There's only one response that has anything.
Is Tony Gilroy. Ben, you go. You go first.
Either way, I think at this point I've lost complete control of
Is Tony Gilroy a writer?
No, they know he's a writer. Though a kind of related question that came up that's not is just Tony Gilroy writing process. So people are interested in Googling that, but that doesn't quite fall into the vernacular, but I like it. Ben, any guesses?
Is Tony Gilroy working on any other Star Wars shows?
Nope.
Ben would like to know after the show. So
That's for me.
That question. Is Tony Gilroy the Bourne Ultimatum?
No, no, but I like it. Any guess, Ben? I think you get another guess if you want it.
Is Tony Gilroy born again Christian?
Nope. I like it. I had to ask this because the one question made me laugh out loud.
Does Tony Gilroy own the horse from Michael Clayton?
Yeah,
it might be if I wrote does. Yeah, that'd be hilarious. Is Tony Gilroy a Star Wars fan? Number one and only searched question.
That's fascinating. People want to know. People want to know.
Yeah, people want to know. That's an important question for any question.
All right, going completely outside the box.
Maybe it's healthy to be like a semi fan, like, I understand the grandeur of its kind of cinematic beauty, but be artistic.
Sure. Yeah, who's not? Yeah, completely bonus. This one's not way out there, but it's gonna be hard. Is Star Wars? Star Wars? This is the last
Star
one.
Wars real?
No. But no, but kind of something close to that. I'm gonna let you keep rattling them off since it's bonus round.
Is Star Wars movie coming out this year?
No, weirdly, no one's questioning about release schedules or anything like that, which is shocking.
There's got to be so many obvious ones here. I just can't. My brain
I don't know. This one might. Let me know when you tap out because it's just wacky.
I want one more shot.
Go for it.
Star Wars owned by George Lucas.
No, but related to that is Star Wars Disney. So
that should have gone that way. Okay.
Yeah. Any other guesses, Grant?
Star Wars. Is Star Wars is Star Wars I don't know.
Yeah, right. It's so hard.
7.
It's so hard because who would Google is Star Wars, right? Like it's such a weird thing. So there's a lot of stuff about specific series that are tough. Like is Star Wars Resistance good? Is Star Wars Visions canon?
Oh, okay, all right.
Right,
yeah.
but there's other ones like where to find it is Resistance on Disney Plus, Rebels. But there's a couple here like which is really funny. Is Star Wars Disney? And the two other that are my favorite, three others my favorite is Star Wars a series? That's the number 3 most Googled question about Star Wars.
That was the one I was hunting for. Like I was hunting for that one.
It's so hard to get to that level. And then is Star Wars sci-fi?
A good question, honestly.
Actually, okay. That's how I can get behind.
We've had entire episodes where we debate that, especially when we were talking about
that's
when we were talking about the
is
Joseph
Star
Campbell
Wars
book.
A space opera? Is that anywhere out there?
No. The number 10 though is Star Wars based on a book. So that's where I was like, when Ben asked, "Is it real?" I'm like, no, but there's kind of a related question.
Yeah, that's probably another Joseph Campbell like question.
Yeah, it's just I love these to see like what's coming up, the ones that are way out there. Which again, like you have to have like thousands upon thousands, if not tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people searching these terms to get on these top 10 lists. If you're curious about the score, it's either 14 to 5 or 3 to 1. Either way, but again, I don't know if that means
track of how many W's we get because I'm pretty sure it's got a lot of dubs.
No, we'll have to have a listener start a Star Wars or Coral News wiki. But I will say that
on the Discord. I'll make a channel.
There you go. Congratulations, Ben. I don't know if that's you should be proud of that win. It just means you can lower yourself to the level of random Googlers.
Wow,
I'm pretty sure if you've listened to this pod long enough, you know I'm the dumbest podder on this pod. So I will take my W and revel in its glory.
All right. Well, I promise we'll take a break from that one. I keep falling back to that one because I find it so much fun.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
It is fun.
All right. I'm gonna wrap this thing up. This was a fun pod, an amazing Andor episode. I hope you all loved it. Well, I can't wait for next week. Episode 7 is going to be bonkers. We'll be releasing it about the same time. And I think we might have to we're going to do 2 pods next week. I think we'll do one on Andor and we'll do one on Path of Deceit.
Yeah.
Which is a short book. We're finally into phase 2 of High Republic. And so that's going to be our first book we're going to cover in the thing, and the first book in a minute. And it's going to be great. Get on the High Republic. It's so much fun. If you like reading at all and you like Star Wars, it's great. So A Path of Deceit next week. We'll talk about it as well as Andor 7. So stay tuned. Thanks so much for listening. And as always, may the Force be with you.
This is Grex Kondak signing off. For the latest breaking news, follow @CoreWorldNews on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you and good night.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.